First I want to say what an honor it is to be in front of so many smart, beautiful, talented entrepreneurs. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and I retired about 9 years ago, so for me to get back involved in something like this, it had to be good. My background, I was in the restaurant business for a number of years. In fact, our restaurant was at one time one of the top gourmet restaurants in the Twin Cities. So when I talk about the nutrition program, I think I can speak pretty soundly on good food, and because I'm a little fussy, right? But how I got involved in Arbonne was through my daughter, and she got my wife and some of my children involved. And at first I thought, okay, this is going to be great. She could kind of learn something about being an entrepreneur and being a self-starter, and it's a great thing no matter where it leads. So I thought that's good. So we, as the dad, I kind of was supported and honestly was kind of pretending that, oh, this is kind of a good thing, right? Because I wanted to get those skills out of it, right? The people skills, the sales skills, the business skills. What a great thing, I thought. Well, as we progressed as a family and really got into Arbonne, of course, I wasn't at all into cosmetics. Those are the 70, and I wasn't really thinking, oh, this would be great for me, right? But what I started to see was that my children, my sons especially, they're almost 40, they were getting into it. Boy, these guys are looking good, right? And I'm thinking, I don't want to be the old dinosaur. So anyway, I didn't get into that. Actually, I started with the shade cream, which was great. Okay? But then we got into the nutrition, and I lost, and this is where I get real excited about Arbonne. I lost over 30 pounds. Okay, I had previous to that had actually been to the doctor, and I was actually looking to possibly thinking I needed a hip transplant or the replacement. And because of arthritis, and they did the x-rays and said, no, you got arthritis, you're just gonna have to learn how to suffer through it. So, okay, I'm pretty tough. And I got into the nutrition. So far, I think I've done the detox maybe 3-4 times. But with that being said, losing over 30 pounds, I got off of 2 medications, okay? Prilosec and a blood pressure medication. For somebody that's getting closer to 70, that's pretty awesome, right? That's an awesome thing. So when my wife and I did that, we've stayed on pretty true to the program after the detox. And as I said, having the food background that we have in our family, we like to eat. Did a lot of fun. I was in the bar business, downtown bar and restaurant. Most of you probably don't remember it, but it was JR's downtown Minneapolis. We had the Comedy Gallery. We had Jay Leno there. We had Seinfeld. Tom Arnold met Roseanne at our bar. She hates us to this day. Right? So we had a lot of fun things. Lifted a lot of cocktails. Still do occasionally, but to be at my age and still being able to have a good time means a ton. And when I think of being healthy, okay, and the choices that you make to be healthy. When I was younger and our kids were young, and we had 2 boys, 2 girls, but the boys were a little older than the girls, and as a dad, smoked and drank and did all kinds of stuff. I was chasing these boys around and starting to get a little winded, and I thought, well, man, I gotta quit, right? And I wasn't motivated to quit smoking because of cancer or heart disease or anything else. I was motivated because I knew when my boys got to be teenagers, I still wanted to be able to go out there and throw that football. Okay. Today, my motivation, okay, is now I want to be able to do that with my grandkids. I never knew my grandparents. I want to live to be an old grandpa. And if any of you are lucky enough to have grandchildren, you know that feeling, how important it is. But that's a huge motivator for a guy like me, especially to be up here and talking for you great people. But the thing we're trying to figure out is, well, what motivates men, right? And we've got 8-year-old kids that can play with a ball. We've got 80-year-old men that play with a ball on the golf course, right? Men are pretty complex. They don't really get into things like Arbonne or cosmetics or whatnot, right? So how do we figure out how we can get guys like me to be excited about products like Arbonne? Younger guys, you're pretty easy because the younger guys are really getting into cosmetics now. They really are. I mean, if you look at the statistics. But I went on the internet and to find out what motivates men, and I found out the 5 things. There was a list that says 5 things that motivate men the most. Okay, and it was an easy list to remember. Okay, it said 5 things: sex, 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 and sex. But seriously, there's a lot more to men besides that, right? And the biggest thing is family. And when I said the thing about my boys when they were young, right? And as you get older, you're lucky enough to have grandchildren. That's something that is one of the greater gifts, and that is a motivation for somebody like me to lose the 30 pounds and be healthy and not just be the old grandpa curmudgeon, right? So as our family has progressed down that Arbonne path of great healthy eating and the cosmetic stuff, now I've been getting into the cosmetic stuff, but the living Arbonne and being healthy, and as I've gotten more healthy, and Kathy's building her business, or I like to think I'm helping her, but as we're doing that, I'm getting all kinds of people now that are coming, my friends and other family members that are now starting to notice that the old guy's looking good, he's pretty healthy, and that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome thing for somebody at my age. I never thought I would ever be here. But with that, okay, comes to my real passion in the Arbonne and being able to present it and sell it, is that, prayers to anybody here in the room that might have a family member that's passed or is sick or has cancer or whatever. But now, as you get older, when you go to those unfortunate services and funerals, and you see somebody that's died of these terrible diseases, right? And once you know or have an idea that good nutrition can avoid some of those illnesses, not maybe totally, but certainly can make those journeys easier, okay? That, to me, is a huge motivator. And whether somebody's ill or whatever, we can't go and tell them that they're going to be healed, but we can try to get them onto the right path. And that's my passion now. And with that, and knowing that how I can say that I care about other people, I certainly care about my friends, and anything I can do to make somebody have a better journey here, I'm all for it. And with that being said, when they say that your health is everything, and there's one thing almost as great as that, but when you can give somebody the gift and the tools to have great health, that's pretty awesome too. And that's kind of the Arbonne's passion for me to expose people to nutrition products. So with that, that's why I am an Arbonne fan and an Arbonne man. I had one part of my speech that I forgot. And this I got to tell for Linda, because she kind of brought it up. So I'm going to say, there's this classic story of the president and the first lady are walking down the boulevard. And the president looks across the boulevard and he sees this kind of run-down guy sitting on the curb. I mean, he's really kind of a bum-like looking guy. Looks pretty bad. And he looks over and he goes, say, to the first lady, he says, say, isn't that a guy you used to date? And she looks at him, she says, oh my, that is. And he says, well, think about it. You hadn't married me, you might be married to him. And she said, if I married him, he'd be president.